Tola stepped off the plane with a mix of excitement and apprehension. December in Lagos was unlike anywhere else. The city buzzed with a festive spirit that seemed to seep into the air. The holiday lights twinkled and the streets bustled with people preparing for the season. For Tola, this trip was more than just a visit. It was a mission. Having spent most of her adult life in the UK, Tola was tired of the endless cycle of situationships and cold winters. This year, she was determined to find love, true Nigerian love, and nothing, not even Lagos traffic, would stand in her way. Her first stop was her parents' estate in Lekki, a sprawling mansion where the walls practically echoed with the unspoken pressure. "Tola, when will you settle down?" her mother asked over breakfast the morning after her arrival. Her father chimed in, "You're not getting any younger, my dear. We've prayed for you. Maybe this December, something good will happen." The scrutiny was suffocating. Tola packed her bags within a week and moved in with her childhood friend, Ore. "You're running away from home at your big age?" Ore teased as Tola settled in. "Call it self-preservation," Tola quipped. Ore laughed but understood. "All right, let's hit the town. If it's love you're looking for, Lagos is the place to find it or lose it." Tola threw herself into the Lagos social scene with gusto. From high-profile concerts at Echo Hotel to underground club parties, she was everywhere. If there was a gathering, Tola was there, invited or not. Her desperation even led her to church festivals where she half-joked that she might find Holy Ghost-certified love. It was at one of these parties that she met John, a dashing engineer with a charming smile that could disarm the coldest heart. "You look like trouble," he said, sliding next to her at the bar. "Good trouble?" Tola asked, tilting her head coyly. "The best kind," John replied, and that was the beginning of their whirlwind affair. For 2 intense days, Tola and John were inseparable. He pampered her, whispered sweet nothings, and made her feel like the center of his universe. Until he didn't. "You know you're just a side chick, right?" John said casually as they sipped cocktails by the pool. Tola froze. "What did you just say?" "I'm married. My wife's in Abuja," John said matter-of-factly, as if it were no big deal. Devastated but undeterred, Tola moved on. She met Bright next, a man whose name was an ironic twist of fate. Their dates were a disaster. "You're so picky," Bright snapped during one argument. "And you're so boring," Tola shot back. It was clear they weren't meant to be, and the relationship ended in less than a week. Just as Tola's hope began to waver, she met Andre. He was everything she'd prayed for, handsome, successful, and attentive. Andre showered her with affection, sending her flowers, calling her every night and even discussing marriage. "Do you think your parents will like me?" Andre asked one evening during a video call. "Like you? They'll adore you," Tola gushed. For the first time, Tola allowed herself to dream of a happily ever after. Andre was the answer to her prayers, the man who would make her Christmas magical. But then a shadow fell over their fairy tale. Andre called her one evening, his voice heavy with distress. "Tola, I need your help. Customs seized my goods and I need 15 million naira to clear them. My token is on its way from Vienna, but it won't arrive until next week." Tola hesitated. The amount was staggering, but Andre was wealthy, or so she thought. He lived in a luxurious apartment, drove flashy cars, and always spoke of his booming business. "Don't worry," she said finally. "I'll help." Tola borrowed the money and wired it to Andre. He promised to repay her once his token arrived. He also assured her he would meet her parents on Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve came, but Andre didn't. Tola's heart sank as the hours passed with no word from him. Desperate, she called him repeatedly, but his phone was switched off. Something wasn't right. Determined to find answers, Tola went to his apartment, only to find another woman there. "This is a short-let Airbnb," the woman explained. "What?" Tola asked, her voice trembling. "Yes, people rent it for a few days or weeks." Reality hit Tola like a thunderbolt. She raced to the address Andre had given her for his office, only to find it was a shared workspace rented by the hour. Tola stood in the middle of the street, her heart pounding. She had been scammed. Andre wasn't real, or at least the version of him she'd fallen for wasn't. As she trudged back to Ore's house, Tola realized she was back where she started, alone in Lagos with another Christmas marked by heartbreak. By New Year's Eve, Tola had made peace with her situation. Ore found her sitting on the balcony, sipping wine. "You okay?" Tola smiled faintly. "No love in Lagos, huh?" "Maybe you're looking in the wrong places," Ore said. "Maybe I should stop looking altogether," Tola replied. As the clock struck midnight, Tola raised her glass. She didn't know what the new year would bring, but one thing was certain. She would face it with her head held high. After all, if there was one thing Lagos taught her, it was that love couldn't be forced or rushed. It would find her when the time was right.